everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and today we are going to be talking about the Love and Marriage DC reunion part 2. I don't know why we needed a part 2. I found it to be extremely boring and bizarre, and I still want justice for Winter. I want justice for Winter, you guys. Hey, Kamiko, how are you, sweetheart? What's up, sweetheart? She says, hello, Candy and the Candy Canes. That's it, you guys. As you come in, be sure to say hi, drop your candy canes, comment, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend, because a key is always better with community. Your girl did not feel like doing her makeup today, so we have a little avatar action, but that is okay. That is okay. So let's get into it. As I said, I don't really know what the point of part 2 was. It was redundant to me. It was boring to me. Nothing new came out other than a couple of things. And let me know if you guys agree with me or not. So basically, what we found out was that Monique, Chris, Ashley, DJ Quick, Arana, and Jamie had a pact that Winter was not a part of. So basically, they got together and had a pact, because people always tell on themselves, right? You have to listen to what people actually say, because people always tell on themselves. And to me, reunion part 2, they told on themselves. They said that before filming started, they had all gotten together and they all decided, how they were going to portray themselves, what they were going to say, what was going to come out, what was not coming out. So basically, you told on yourself that the 3 couples got together and decided how they wanted to basically front on TV. That's what I gleaned from it. And Winter wasn't a part of that conversation until after Winter started talking about everything that was going on. So the 3 couples got together, made a little pact on how they wanted to be, what was off limits for reality TV, which to me is shady. Like, if you're going to be on a show and you want to front like you're showing your real life, then actually show your real life, the good, bad, and the ugly. But I think that's a big reason why during the season it felt flat. It didn't seem fun. It didn't seem authentic. And I agree with what that what was she? She was like a psychic healer, or I'm not into psychics, but I think she was like a intuitive healer. And she's like, yeah, you're fake. You guys are all fake. Then she was just like, this is just fake, right? And I agree with her 100%. It was all fake. And they basically said that. They got together and made the pact to how they wanted to appear on TV, and Winter did not get the memo. I felt that Carlos King was being very dirty and very, very shady. They kept going, and I was confused. I'm like, why do they keep going after Winter? When Carlos was the one who brought up the receipts, Carlos was the one who kept asking, what are the receipts? What are the receipts? What are the receipts? When Winter said multiple times, I don't feel comfortable saying what the receipts are. I really feel like they painted Winter in this horrible light. She was an scapegoat. I feel like Ashley already knows Quick cheats on her and she accepts it, and they just sort of have their deal. I don't believe for 1 second that Jamie does not cheat on Arana. I think that's super clear, even though he went on the nightcap with Carlos King, and Carlos was like, have you ever cheated on her in the last 26 years? And he said, no, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, which is basically saying yes. If you say that's my story and I'm sticking to it, to me, that's basically an admission that you did, right? So there's that. I really don't think, and some people are faithful, and I don't want to be mean or disrespectful by any means, but it just doesn't seem like Jamie was faithful to Irana for the last 26 years. It just doesn't seem that way, especially with how they act. They don't even act like they really like each other. And the intuitive person said it at the end of the season. She asked Jamie, she's like, do you even love her? She's like, it doesn't seem like you're in love with her. And I think they're more like brothers and sisters at this point. They fight like brothers and sisters, and they interact like brother and sister, not like husband and wife. And to me, that makes way more sense. Um, what else was going on? I still felt bad for Chris. He still sort of had like broken man syndrome. I've seen like I hear Monique what she's saying, and I'm gonna be different now, and I saw all the faults in me and blah blah blah. Like it was hard to watch. And again, it was hard to watch as a man saying that, but if it was a woman who was saying it, I think it would be even a bigger reaction to it. But the fact that it was Chris, he just sounded so broken down, no type of self-esteem, no type of sense of self. Like, I just felt really bad for Chris. I feel like he needs to get some therapy to work on himself, in the sense of he needs to work on his own self-esteem, his own self-worth, his own confidence. Because just because, he has money and he was in the NFL and he has all of this stuff, as we all know, money and things do not give you self-worth. You could be the richest person in the world and still not feel good enough about yourself. So even though Chris has all these things, I don't think he has self-worth. And you can see that in his relationship with Monique. I don't think Chris needs to be in couples therapy. I don't think he needs to be in therapy to work on himself in order to be good enough for Monique to change for her. I think Chris needs to get in therapy to learn how to love himself, get his own interests, get his own passions, get his own sense of self-worth, and to feel good enough about himself. Because even that is unhealthy. Oh, let me work on myself to be good enough for you. Hell no. You work on yourself to know that you are already good enough and worthy within yourself. And I feel like the whole narrative has been Chris needs to work on himself in order to be good enough for Monique. And if someone ever told a woman that you need to work on yourself to be good enough for your man, that we would be up in arms. We would be up in arms about that. And I feel like that's what to me, Chris is like a battered, I'm not saying physically battered, but he seems like this broken down person who really has no self-esteem and no self-worth. The entire season, the entire reunion, all Chris basically said was, I see how horrible I am. I see the faults in me. I see how I need to change. I need to change to be good enough for her. That was his whole narrative the entire season and reunion. Again, I don't know why they needed a part 2. It was just the same rinse, repeat, recycle. To me, Ashley also needs a lot of therapy. Again, I think that Love and Marriage DC really should have been a Iyanna Fix My Life series with these couples. Because I think they told on themselves that they had all gotten together and made a pact, essentially to front on the show. And that was very evident. But what came clear to me was just how messed up, in a lack of a better term, and I say this from a place of love. I don't mean it to be disrespectful. Like, Ashley, to me, has a lot of issues. To me, she's a very angry person. To me, she is very hurt inside. Irana, to me, doesn't seem as angry as Ashley, but she still seems stuck in a lot of her own trauma and stuff. DJ Quick and Jamie, to me, DJ Quick less so. Jamie, to me, seems more checked out of his marriage. DJ Quick, to me, seems like with Ashley, they're still playing house, if that makes sense. Like, to me, it seems like they're still playing house. And anytime a woman, Ashley, is like, oh, I had to raise him and I had to teach him and I had to do all this stuff. But I'm also like, where do Ashley and Irana take accountability for their own lives? Hey guys, what's up? Hey, Real Lovely C. She goes, I think Monique treat him bad. Yes, she treats him horribly. Hey, Chris is a good man. Exactly. Chris is a great man. They all went through some kind of disrespect. Yup, 100%. Hey, Fumi Adonis, Ashley was a mean girl, not nice. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Monique and Chris. To me, Monique is a I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to keep it funky. I'm going to keep it 100%. I used to really like Monique when she was on Potomac, but watching her on DC, she to me is an abusive spouse. Not physically, but we all know there is spiritual abuse, there is mental abuse, there's emotional abuse. To me, she's very mentally and emotionally abusive to Chris. And that's my opinion on how she is. And to me, Chris seems like a person who lacks self-worth. And he has been his whole life proving his value and worth by what he gives people. And I bet you his mother and I bet you Monique are very, very similar people. I feel like they used Winter the entire season and this reunion as a scapegoat. I think she got a bad rap. Do I think she was perfect? No, of course not. No one's perfect. But I don't think she deserved what she got. I think, as I said before, they told on themselves this reunion. They told that the three couples, Chris and Monique, Ariana and Arana and Jamie, Ashley and DJ Quick, they told on themselves. They said before they started filming, they all got together and made a pact to front on the show, how they wanted to front about their lives and front about their relationships. You told on yourself. You told on yourself. And Winter didn't get the memo. And that's what happened. And so they all wanted to scapegoat Winter when their front didn't work. Because no one can tell me, again, this is just a fun kiki, alleged, just my observations. I have no receipts. I'm not saying this is fact. Based on my observations, you would have to be boo-boo to fool to actually believe that DJ Quick and Jamie have not or were not or are not cheating on their wives. The way DJ Quick was squirming in his seat and the way Ashley was going at Winter and the way she was handling DJ Quick, basically to me, Ashley's response said to me, DJ Quick, I know you cheat on me. I know you have cheated on me. It's okay. You've been cheating on me forever. I know what I was signing up for. I got you, boo. Let me handle this. It was not the reaction of a woman who was hearing for the first time that her husband could have been cheating on her. It wasn't. And I don't know when Monique, Ashley, and Arana are going to start taking accountability for their own marriages and for their own stuff. Like saying over and over and over again how you were young and you had all these kids and the husbands were out and you didn't da-da-da-da-da. The thing is, those were the choices you made. And this is not to criticize anyone or judge anyone or put down anybody. But at the end of the day, we are always accountable for our own lives. So when do you stop blaming your husband for having his life and you start saying, well, maybe I need to have my life, not to spite my husband, but to actually enjoy myself. And I think that's why it comes across so prickly and so weird and so bizarre. And you're just like, do these people even like each other? Because to me, Ashley and Arana in particular, they want to do all these things, but then the next thing out their mouth is putting down their husbands, talking about the past, and they want to do all these things to spite their spouse. And to me, intention matters, you know? And I think that's why the show wasn't fun. And I think that's why it really felt flat. And I mean, let me know what you guys think. If it's just me, if I'm the only one who kind of was like, this season was boring. Clearly they were faking the funk, and Winter was a scapegoat. Carlos King was messy as hell because he asked Winter about those receipts about 10 or 15 times, trying to get her to do this stuff. And it shows you, and to me, the fact that Winter did not show the receipts proves the fact that they were using her as a scapegoat and she wasn't this horrible, horrendous person as they were all making her out to be. Because if she really was this horrible, horrendous person, she would have been like, screw all of you. Here are the receipts. Let me post them on Instagram, post them on Facebook, post them on YouTube. You know, let me bring my binder of receipts. But she was like, no, it's not my place to do this. I'm not putting it out there. So let me see what you guys are saying. Hey there, real lovely C. She goes, Ashley had to find herself because Quick put her through some things, I believe. No, I believe it. See, this is the thing. I get that. I get that 100%. Winter signed up for something she wasn't ready for. Exactly. And they were on the defense. Exactly. Because, again, Winter was not a part of the pack meeting. Winter didn't get the memo about what they were trying to pretend to portray. Because they told on themselves. We all got together and made a pact. Oh, so you all got together, decided to fake the funk on TV, and then you got exposed, and now you mad at Winter. That's really basically what they said. That's really what they said. That's really what they said. And the thing is, with Ashley and I like Arana way more than I like Ashley. I like Arana a lot. I think she's pretty cool. I think she has some stuff she needs to work through, but I think she's less bitter and angry at the core than Ashley is. And I get it. I get like being young and being a young mom and going through it with your person. Like I get how that can be traumatizing and upsetting and everything. But as long as you continue to blame other people rather than saying, you know what, I actually chose to date this type of person. I actually chose to stick by this man who was cheating on me. I actually chose to have children at this age. I chose to sacrifice my career for his. As long as you are blaming other people for the choices you made, you're always going to be angry, you're always going to be bitter, and you're always going to be acting out of spite. Because what taking accountability for your life does, it actually empowers you to say, you know what, I was young, I got in a situation, I had some children I had to take care of, I was in love with this guy who was ripping it and running it, but you know what, those were the choices I made. And since I made them, I can now choose differently, or I can take accountability for it. It actually empowers you. But the fact that they won't, that's why you see how awkward it was and how weird it was, Arana and Jamie fighting on the reunion. And then again, they told on themselves, right? Because when they went on the break at the reunion, didn't you see Chris and Monique talking to Jamie? Because Monique is nobody's friend, because Monique and Chris went to Jamie and was like, oh, well, make sure you tell your side of the story, make sure you get it out there, blah, 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 blah. Again, being like, make sure you control the narrative. And Monique, aren't you supposed to be Arana's friend? If you're Arana's friend, why are you talking to Jamie being like, you better get your side out, you better put your side out there, blah, 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 blah. And then Jamie went and talked to Arana, and he was all fired up, being like, well, why is Chris and Monique trying to do marriage counseling and blah, 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 blah. Now he's all fired up talking to Arana. That was dead wrong. Monique, I thought Arana was your girl. Why are you going to her husband talking about you need to get your side of the story out? See, they tell on themselves. They really, really do. They tell on themselves with all of this stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know why they had a part 2 of the reunion, to be perfectly honest. I really don't. I thought it just confirmed everything I thought. Winter was the scapegoat. She kind of got blindsided by the whole situation. Chris needs to go to therapy on his own to build his own self-esteem, to work on his self. Monique's personality type, I don't know if that will ever change. That just might be something that is ingrained in her. I don't know. Ashley needs to go to therapy. DJ Quick needs to go to therapy. Jamie and Arana. To me, Jamie and Arana needs to consciously uncouple. Just uncouple. Be happy co-parents and call it a day, because I don't think anybody is believing that Arana and Jamie are getting down and busting it. I don't think anybody's believing that. I don't think anyone's believing that. I think that Arana and Jamie are friends. I think they're best friends. I think they're like brothers and sisters. I think they've been together for 26 years and got the kids and them and the stuff. But I don't think anybody thinks they're like in love as a couple. And I know that they both are doing interviews now on YouTube and stuff like that. So I haven't seen what they said, but I don't know. And if they don't bring Winter back for season 2, I want Winter to get a spinoff. Because Winter honestly was the only interesting person. She was the only one telling the truth. She was the only one who brought something to the show. Like, she was the only one being honest about her situation with her ex-husband. Everybody else was in pack mode pretending. Like, do we really, like, were we supposed to really believe that DJ Quick never cheated on Ashley? We were supposed to believe that? I'm confused. I'm confused. So confused. And I thought that Monique was really mean to Chris. I like that they brought in little Jamie. I hope he gets out of whatever situation he's in with the law and then goes on the straight and narrow. I thought Jason's storyline was really interesting. I'm really happy that they did representation for someone who is disabled. I thought his story was great. I love that he wanted to be independent and get a girlfriend and work for Apple and like move out of the house and like be his own man. I thought that was really great representation for people, again, with disabilities. So I really love that. But let me know what you guys think. What did you think of the season? What did you think of the reunion? What do you think about sort of my ideas on the couples and everything like that? Do you think there'll be a season 2? I bet you there will be a season 2, but we're going to need another couple to come in to spice it up because it's kind of dry. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it was dry or not? I thought it was kind of dry. I definitely thought it was kind of dry. If we come back for a season 2, I need Chris to have a backbone. I need Chris to have a backbone. I need Chris to have his own interests. I need Chris to step it up because he's a great man and he needs to step into his greatness. I think he doesn't realize how much he has to offer. I hope they bring Winter back, and I hope Winter stops letting these people punk her. I think she held her own to a point, but I think that she definitely felt like she had to apologize and do all this stuff to them. And I think that she felt a little punked by these people, and that to me was just completely tragic. Ashley, if she comes back, and DJ Quick, I don't know. Ashley needs an attitude adjustment. She's mean and she's nasty. She's not happy with herself. She's not happy with her marriage or her husband, as we all know. I would like to see Arana and Jamie, and I don't say this in a mean-spirited way, but I really like Arana, and I would love to see her, like, not break free from Jamie, but I would like to see them, and this is hypothetical because I'm never going to speak to the demise of anybody's marriage. So hypothetically, I would like to see her divorced and like dating and, you know, getting her own place and having fun, and then her co-parenting with Jamie. It's not even co-parenting anymore because aren't the kids grown? I guess you're always a parent, but you know what I mean. That interaction, and then Arana like finding herself. Because the difference to me between Ashley and DJ Quick and Arana and Jamie is I think that Ashley and DJ Quick actually are in love. I think they love each other. I think they still bust it down. I think she knows he cheats, and that's something that she has decided to be okay with and has decided to front that he doesn't with. I do think that there's still like love and flirtation and a sexual tension there. Arana and Jamie, I think they're just friends. And so I would like to see Arana like do it on her own, you know, like late in life, not even late in life, you know, at this stage in the game, they're still young and vibrant, whatever, you know, her go out, meet people, you know, do a business for herself, find herself, maybe do some spirituality work or some therapy or whatever, right? I would love to see that for her because I think she's really, really cool. And I think that she does have more of a personality that's more developed, and I want to see her grow. And then I want to see Jamie do his thing. You know what I mean? I want to see Jamie do his thing too. Instead of this like front, instead of the representatives that they had, I want to really see them because I do think that they were fronting for the season and the reunion, and they basically said it. You literally got there on the reunion and said you all came together and made a pact. So you were already told on yourself. You guys got together. to front on the show. Winter didn't get the memo, and this is what happened. Hey, the real lovely seasons. I think there'll be a second season. I didn't cover this like I thought it was good at the end. I didn't cover this like this. I thought it was good at the end. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think there will be a second season too. And I agree. I do think, but that goes to my point because I agree 100%. It got better at the very end, like the last episode and maybe like the last episode and a half, right? It got better, but it only got better when all of the girls were getting along. When Ashley was being normal to Winter, and Winter was a part of the group, and the girls were laughing and having a kiki. They were singing and doing all of that. That to me was the best part of the entire season, was when all the girls were together and laughing and having fun, and it was enjoyable to watch. So I agree with you 100%. It got better at the end of the season, but the rest of the season, with Monique meddling, like when Monique, this is where I think the season went wrong. I think there was a lot of miscommunication and attitudes and all this stuff with like Winter and Ashley, and then Arana by default got thrown in. But they had all squashed that. Monique had gone to Tanzania, and when Monique came back, and I think that Monique experiences a lot of things through the lens of trauma, for lack of a better word, because when I saw Winter relay what happened to Monique about the girls' lunch, I didn't take it the way Monique took it. And let me know what you guys think. I didn't, like, Monique was like, oh, I thought you were saying, like, you know, you guys were going at it and going back and forth and fighting and this and this. I didn't take that from Winter. To me, I thought Winter was just having, like, a kiki, light shade catch up with Monique and telling her what happened. I don't think Winter said what happened the way Monique interpreted it and then went and related to the other women. And I think that's where the season really went wrong. Because I think that if the girls could have continued on the good path, I think the season actually would have been a lot more enjoyable. It would have been lighter. It would have been a more fun kiki. The way it was, exactly like you said, Real Lovely C, at the very end when they all kind of came together. So I think that was the moment in the season that it kind of really went wrong. Because I really don't think Winter did anything that bad. And even though I think Ashley's a mean girl, I think a lot of her meanness comes from hurt. Doesn't justify her being mean. But I don't think, like, I think Dr. Heavenly is mean-spirited. But I think Ashley is mean because it comes from a lot of hurt, if that makes sense. Hey everybody, what's up? Hey Donna D. She goes, all the couples on the show can get up on Winter. Exactly. They needed to apologize to Winter. That's 100%. That's exactly what I agree. Hey Sharon, hello Candy in the chat. Hey sweetheart, how are you? Hey Miss T. She goes, hello Candy in the candy canes. What's up? What's up? What's up? Miss T, I'm late. What I miss? Girl. Okay. So let me give you guys the quick cliff notes. Let me go give you the stuff, and I'll give you the quick notes for everybody who's joining now. Hey, Miss T, Monique made the whole lunch a thing, but why? Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Fumia Donna is true. Ashley is hurt. Exactly. Okay, so for everybody who's joining, I'll give a quick recap. And anybody who was in the beginning, stay with me, bear with me, and love you guys. Super quick recap on what I think. Winter was ambushed and she was scapegoated, and they all owe her an apology. Winter was the only interesting person on the entire cast, to be perfectly honest, and they all ganged up on her, and they owe her a big apology. When it comes to Chris and Monique, I think that Chris needs to do some therapy, but to work on his self-worth. I think Monique is mentally and emotionally abusive towards him. That's just my personal opinion. I think he needs therapy to work on himself, not to work on himself in order to be worthy of her. That is so unhealthy and so dysfunctional, and that is the actual essence of low self-worth. If you think I need to fix me in order to be good enough for you, that is the essence of low self-esteem. No, you work on yourself because you deserve to be happy, healthy, and whole, and you deserve to know that you are worthy and good enough. And if somebody else doesn't see that, then that's their problem. When it comes to Ashley and DJ Quick, I think that Ashley needs a lot of therapy. I think she's really mean and reactionary because she's very hurt. I think she operates from a space of hurt and trauma. I think she knows DJ Quick cheats on her and she's cool with it. That's what she signed up for. I think when she was a young girl, she decided that's my man and she's gonna ride till the wheels fall off. She knows what he does and it is what it is. I do think they have fun together. I do think that there's sexual tension there. I do think that they're a real couple. Do I think that they are faithful? Hell no. When it comes to Irana and Jamie, I think that Irana, I would love to see, again, I don't want to speak the demise of anybody's relationship, but I would love to see Irana on her own, what it looks like for her to come into her own, what it looks like for her to find true love, because I don't think they're in love. I think that they are brothers and sisters. I think they have a brother and sister type relationship. I think they're best friends. I think they co-parent and have a life together, but I don't think that they're actually together as like a romantic couple. I want Jamie to be happy and to be free to go do him and whatever he needs to do. And I want to see Irana go off and do whatever she needs to do. And I really like Irana. But Jamie, nobody's buying the fact that you haven't slept with another woman in the last 26 years. I don't think anybody's believing that. I really don't. I really don't. Let's see. Hey, Donna D. Monique has totally turned her back completely on Winter. Exactly. I kind of think they were a little jealous that Winter became a fan favorite. Exactly. I agree with that. Honestly, again, I thought Monique was foul this entire season. I thought she was foul the entire season. The way she talked to Chris was foul. The way she treated Winter was foul. I think she quickly realized that she was the one who was being messy. She was the one who was carrying the bone back. She was the one. Because the truth is, Winter wasn't the one exaggerating at the lunch. Monique was the one who went back and exaggerated it. The whole DJ Fun Size and Red Light Special, like, miss me with this BS. Winter was not trying to destroy people's marriages by calling somebody's husband DJ Fun Size. Like, get out of here. Miss me with that narrative, right? And so Monique was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to look good. This isn't going to come across good for me. Let me throw Winter under the bus. And then I'll repeat this for the people who are coming in now. Did you guys catch how Monique admitted on part 2 that all of the couples got together and made a pact on how they wanted to represent themselves, what they would and would not talk about, all this stuff? So basically, the 3 couples got together and made a pact to front on TV. Winter did not get that memo until later on when they tried to check Winter when she was talking about receipts and rumors and all this stuff. So you all got together to make a pact to basically front on TV. And that's why the season looked fake. The relationships didn't look authentic. And it was a bit of a mess. I agree with that, whatever her name was, the intuitive person who called them fake. Because they were. Hey, Sharon, she goes, Winter got a little more than she bargained for. She thought Monique would have her back. Yeah, she thought Monique was an actual friend. And that's when you realize you were rocking with someone who's like Ashley. Because remember when Ariane was like, yeah, we're friends, and Ashley was like, we're associates or we're acquaintances. You know what I mean? And I think that Winter thought she could confide in Monique and just have a fun kiki. I think Monique really took what Winter said during that lunch and maybe intentionally or maybe subconsciously, because what I've seen from Monique this season, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's very prickly and she's very critical and she's very reactive. And I'm going to say it, she's very aggressive. And even the way she communicates with Chris, as we all seen, she takes what he says and she sort of takes it to this weird place where it's like not even. And so I don't even know if Monique consciously knew how she was misinterpreting what Winter said. Like if I was at a lunch and Winter said what she said to Monique, my thought process wouldn't have been, oh, they were fussing and fighting and they went down and what happened? Oh my God, I thought all this stuff was going on. I probably would have just like laughed, which is how Monique in the moment actually reacted. She was laughing and kikiing. The tone and all of that changed when she went and related to the girls. And another reason why how Monique related to the girls was dead wrong was because Monique knew Winter was on her way to the selfie event. So if you knew Winter was on the way to the selfie event, why didn't you just wait until she got there and then address if you thought the situation was so crazy and they were all fussing and fighting and everything went haywire, which was not the case, and not even truly what Winter actually said? Why wouldn't you just wait till Winter got there and then talked about it so everyone was present? So Winter could say what she had to say, Ashley and Irana, and they all could talk. But no, you went, you carried a bone and you carried it back, all types of crazy, all type of dramatics without Winter there. And then Winter then walked into a war zone because she went and riled them up. And then she was also dead wrong because then it was Winter, Ashley, and Monique. After all that, they then got their own lunch, remember? And everything was squashed. Then Monique came back and brought up again, talking about the nicknames and all this other stuff. If Monique, if you thought her saying DJ Fun Size and Red Light Special and everything else was such a problem, was so problematic, why didn't you say that at the lunch in front of Winter? When it was with Monique and Ashley, why did you wait until everything had been at peace and then go carry the bone to Ashley? That's messy right there. So Monique, to me, was completely wrong and messy this entire season. And to me, she kind of ruined the season because I do think it would have been a much more fun Kiki if all the girls were getting along and it was just fun and light, kind of the way it was at the end of the season. Exactly, Miss T. Monique wasn't a real friend ever. No, she really wasn't. She really, really, really wasn't. Hey, Donna D, Ashley and Quick appear to both cheat on each other. Exactly. Exactly. That's why Ashley's response is not the response of someone who actually thinks that they are in a monogamous relationship. Her response is basically like, DJ Quick, pipe down. I got you, boo. Let me handle this. That's her response. I think they both cheat on each other. I think they probably have an open relationship. I don't think DJ Quick rumors cheating is new. I don't think that. Hey, Femi Adonis. So they didn't know this is a reality show? LOL. Exactly. Exactly. They got together and made a pact. And you got to watch these people because people always tell on themselves. And Monique actually thought she was like doing something. Well, we got together because, we care about families and blah, blah, blah. No, you got together because you wanted to create a false narrative and present yourselves in a way that is not true or authentic. And to me, Winter was the best person on the show. Justice for Winter. And to me, Winter proved her integrity by not showing the receipts. And Carlos King was the one who brought it up. And Carlos King was the one who was being messy because he kept pushing it. So what are the receipts? Are they text messages? Are they photos? Are they what are they? He asked her like 20 times and she kept saying, I don't want to say, it's not my place. And I believe everything Winter said. I think on the show, she was referring to a rumor about DJ Quick cheating on Ashley. But then after the show aired and after everything went down, someone probably sent her text messages and photos and records or whatever the heck it is about both Jamie and DJ Quick. I believe everything Winter said. She doesn't have to show the receipts. Because I'm sorry, but like, I don't need a receipt to believe that DJ Quick and Jamie aren't faithful. I don't need a receipt to know that Ashley probably hasn't been faithful. Arana to me kind of seems asexual, if that makes sense. Like, no tea, no shade. But to me, Arana seems like she doesn't really even care about sex. She cares more about, how she looks and money and things. Like, she seems to me more of a person who, like, she doesn't even need the sex, if that makes sense. Like, and I mean that in, like, a genuine way. I'm not trying to be shady. But, like, I feel like she's the type of person who, like, doesn't even care, if that makes sense. Hey, Donna D. She goes, Arana does appear to be a little intimidated by Jamie. She hesitated a little when Carlos asked her if Jamie had been physically abusive to her. What did Jamie do to her when he saw the text? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, their whole dynamic to me, that's why, and again, I never want to speak the demise of anybody's relationship. So hypothetically, I would love to see Arana on her own. I would love to see her blossom, uh, start a business, or date people, go on fun dates, sort of like Sutton on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? I want to see her, dating and on the apps and going out and having fun and really finding her voice and finding herself. Like, I would love to see Arana as herself, and I really have her blossom and bloom, because I think it's clear it's not a romantic relationship with Jamie. And I want to see Jamie go off and do what Jamie needs to do. I don't mean off the show. I just mean like off in general and do what he needs to do. Because I think Ashley and DJ Quick, I think they do love each other, but they just agree to mess around with other people. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't judge people's how they choose to conduct their marriages. That's not my place, and I know what my place is, and it's not to judge. However, don't front like it's something that it's not. And if you're gonna front like it's something like it's not, then don't scapegoat and come down on someone who's being honest, which is Winter. If you want to front like your marriage is something that it's not, and by that I don't mean better or worse. I think some marriages are supposed to be monogamous, and I think some people want open marriages. Some people want whatever the case may be. So I'm not saying it's better or worse from a moral standpoint. I'm just saying, don't front like you're in this picture perfect monogamous relationship and your only issues are, oh, he works so late, and I had to raise these kids so young, basically these very cookie cutter things that you're fronting like you're being authentic when you're not. Having the kids young and him working, those are pretty generic problems. If we're going to be honest, those are pretty cookie cutter generic problems, right? So you're fronting like you're being authentic, you're fronting like you're being vulnerable, but then when the truth is exposed, you want to get all up in arms and act like Winter is this mean, evil, crazy person, which is not the case. Be honest about the infidelities. Be honest about the situation. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss T, Jamie is a police officer, and that's why he didn't share his job. Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. If he's a police officer, that makes sense why he didn't share his job. Sharon F. Winter and Kevin were originally supposed to be on the show, but unfortunately the scam came out and Winter left him. Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And honestly, Kevin looked like a scammer and he looked sickly. And not to say I'm a Winter defender 1000%, right? You can't defend anybody 1000%. However, I will defend her when it comes to this, because I think that I like to give people grace, and I believe that we're all human beings. So even though you could be a relationship coach or a whatever person, no human is above getting scammed or conned or played or whatever. There are people who think about the Tinder swindler. Think about that Anna Devaney person who pretended to have millions of dollars. There's this podcast now about this French guy who defrauded all these banks out of like $50 million and all this stuff. These are crazy big, examples. But I just say it to say this, that I actually feel really bad for Winter. And I wish she would have stuck to her guns. I mean, I get it. I think that she felt under fire. She probably felt a lot of pressure. I wish that she didn't try and say now she's a minister and now she's doing all this and this stuff. I mean, if she is a minister, good for her. But I wish she would have stuck to her gut and she would have stood in herself and said, you know what? I'm still a relationship coach. Yes, I got played, but you know what? Now that experience actually makes me in an even better position to talk to other people, to, coach other people, because I've lived it and I've walked through it and I'm on the other side. To me, I don't want a coach who coaches from perfection. I want a coach who coaches from experience and wisdom, because the only way you actually get wisdom is when you've gone through some shit. Point blank, period. And so I really wish Winter would have stood in that and said, you know what, I'm a relationship coach. I thought I knew everything, and even I got played. So now let me share my story with you so it doesn't happen to you, rather than jumping ship and being like, oh, I'm a minister now, I'm doing all this, that, and the third now. But I get it, because I think that she's caught a lot of slack from these people. And so she's probably trying to save face by now saying she's a minister and all that. So, I get it, but I wish she would have not let these people trying to front about their relationships take her out of what she was doing, if that makes sense. Okay. Hey, Donna D. Monique should have told Winter that she was going to go back and tell Ashley and Arana the nicknames Winter gave their husbands, because they were going to see it when they looked at the season anyway. Exactly. And you know what another thing is? I'm happy you brought that up. Another issue that I have with Monique is the way the energy she brought whenever she talked about Winter to the other ladies was hella negative. So negative and so pinning them against her. Do you guys remember, I don't know which episode it was, but when Monique was telling the girls that Winter was coming to the detox retreat, the love couples retreat, the way she prefaced it was very negative and nasty. Like, well, I don't want to ambush you guys, but Winter's coming. If you don't want to be around her, it's okay. You can go, blah, 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 blah. If you don't, like, the way she even brought it up, she created the environment and the atmosphere for it to be negative and nasty towards Winter. So when Winter came in, she was in a good mood. She was happy. She brought the sex coach. She was, excited for it. But then you had Irana and Ashley coming at her with this stank attitude, because that was the way Monique set it up. Monique was the one, the majority of the time, when she was talking to the other women, it was very negative and nasty towards Winter. And I think that primed a lot of the drama and a lot of what went down. And then remember on the bus, on the Sprinter bus, because Monique was being fake and was like, oh, I want to be a good friend. I don't want to, ambush anybody, blah, 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 blah. But then when you got on the Sprinter bus, go back and watch. Irana was the one who said to Monique, oh, well, since you're closest to Winter, shouldn't you give her the heads up that Kevin's coming? And then Monique was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And then she started texting Winter the heads up. That, to me, shows you just how dirty Monique was to Winter. So you're setting her up, telling everybody, oh, I don't want to ambush. Winter's coming. She's not spending the night. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be around her. Setting it up in this very negative way. If that's how the host, or if that's how the main person is putting the vibe out, then of course they're going to be apprehensive and sort of have an attitude when Winter comes. And then you're talking about you don't want anybody ambushed, but you weren't even going to tell Winter that her estranged husband that she's trying to get divorced from, who clearly is a scammer, was coming. So you were okay with ambushing Winter about her estranged husband coming, but yet you felt the need to warn the girls that Winter was coming to hang out when Winter is still a part of the cast. Friend of or not, she's a part of the cast. That, to me, showed how dirty Monique really was. She wasn't even going to give Winter the heads up that Kevin was there. Irana had to say to her, hey, girl, you're closest to Winter, right? Aren't you going to tell her Kevin's coming? Aren't you going to give her the heads up? And then that's when she did it. So imagine if Irana said nothing. Imagine how Winter would have reacted and felt if she was there, everybody was there, and then all of a sudden Kevin popped in and she had no idea. That right there shows you how dirty she was moving. Hey, Miss T, Winter did an interview with DJ Richie Sky and she wouldn't tell him either. Exactly. See, I'm Team Winter. I'm Team Winter. She has integrity. I think they're all doing stuff with DJ Richie's guy. I think Winter and Irana and Jamie, they're all doing interviews. Shout out to DJ Richie's guy. Miss T Winter took the high road. She really could have said more, I'm sure. She could have said more. She could have dropped the receipts, because I believe Winter. I think she does have records and text messages and photos. I believe her 100%. I think she has them on Quick and Jamie. I believe her, and she could have. She could have. That's why, to me, Winter really got a raw deal. She was the scapegoat. She was the whipping boy, or whatever they call it. And I think that it wasn't deserved. I really don't think Winter is this horrible, mean person, crazy person they're trying to make her out to be. I think she was a woman going through stuff, and she was not privy to the memo that they were going to fake the funk. That's basically what happened. Hey, Tamara, Irana just turned off. When are you? Oh, Irana just turned off. Okay, when are you? Misty, I don't like Jamie saying he built her. Yeah, when he was like, I made her, and she agreed. Whoa. Yeah, that's why I want to see, and again, and I know I've said it a lot, and I'm going to repeat this because I just, want to be respectful. Never want to speak the demise of anybody's marriage or relationship, but I would love to see Irana on her own. I would love to see her come into her own and blossom and do what she has to do, and then Jamie can do what he needs to do. But the fact that she agreed that he made her, that right there shows you the work she needs to do on herself. And the fact that he had the audacity to say that he made her shows you the dynamic of their relationship. And it also shows you where the work he needs to do on himself. Because if you feel the need to buff up your ego that you made another person, let alone your wife, then you must not feel really good about yourself on your own. Because a lot of times when people say these arrogant, egotistical things, it's because they don't believe that they're worthy in and of themselves. Because if you believe you're good enough, if you believe you're worthy, if you know who you are, you don't derive your value by saying you made somebody else. Because you already are that. And you can let somebody else shine in their own individual way. So it just shows the work they both need to do. I'm not into psychics or anything like that, but that intuitive healer, she basically read them all for filth because she was right 100%. They're all still wounded from trauma from childhood, adulthood, letting their inner child run the game. Ashley, to me, there's no way you can't see that she's not operating from just hurt. Ashley operates from hurt all day, every day. Monique operates from anger and trauma all day, every day. Irana operates from low self-esteem, perfectionism, all day, every day. And so do the men. That's why, again, I would have loved to see, I needed a season of Iyanna Fix My Life with these couples. Each one of them could have had a two-part episode. Part 1, fix Chris. Part 2, fix Monique. Part 3, fix Ashley. Part 4, fix Quick. Part 5, fix Irana. Part 7 or 6, fix what's his face, Jamie. Part 7, fix Winter. That's really what it should have been. Because these people really thought they were going to get on this show in front. Like we were all stupid and Boo Boo the Fool. And we really were going to think, put in what they were trying to do. And to me, it was also a little manipulative because they showed enough to make it seem like they were being vulnerable, but they actually really weren't, if that makes sense. Hey, Donna D, I did see Irana had a brief role in a movie on Lifetime. Maybe she will pursue her acting career. That would be amazing. Yes. I would love to see that. I would love to see her come into herself. I think she has so much to offer in her own skin, right? Hey, Donna D, it was also commendable of Winter to contact Irana to show her the receipts on her family behind the scenes, just to let her know what was sent to her. Thank you. 100%. 100%. Hey, Tamara, Irana is just turned off. When you are dating someone who acts like your father, it just becomes not as romantic. Exactly. I agree 100%. I couldn't be with a guy like Jamie, controlling and dismissive and all of that stuff. And you know what also kind of was a turn off with Jamie and Arana and Monique? I said this earlier, but more people have joined now, so I'll just repeat it. If you've already heard it, bear with me. I love you. Okay. Another big thing and a big red flag that I saw. Part 2 reunion. Remember when they took a break? Monique and Chris were saying to Jamie, "Oh man, you better say your side of the story. Oh man, don't let her say that," or whatever the heck they were saying. And then Jamie went in and he was all puffed up with Irana, being like, when did Chris and Monique try and be, couples therapy, and why are you trying to make me look bad, and why are you saying this and why are you saying that? So then Jamie and Irana were fussing and fighting, and Monique completely threw her so-called homegirl under the bus to her own husband. To me, that was messed up and very, very foul. Why would you want to be with a partner who doesn't have your back? Like, Jamie should have said to Chris and Monique, "No, it's all good, man. It's all good. She can say her piece. We're good. We're cool." Instead, he let Chris and Monique get in his ear, and then he goes into the green room and has a fight with his wife. So you gotta really watch and pay attention to what these people are saying and doing, because that's dirty. Monique, if Arana is your girl, why are you throwing her under the bus to her own husband? Man, you better say your side of the story. You better get da-da-da-da-da. You better da-da-da-da. And then he goes in and tells Arana off. What a mess. Hey, Donna D. Arana really wanted to say that while she was raising the children, Jamie was out running around cheating. Exactly. Because that's just the whole, he wanted to go out and hang out and do his thing. And that's code for cheating. And the whole red light special story, whatever, he was out there dipping it and doing it and busting it open with somebody who wasn't his wife. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Hey, Tamara, my dad is Jamie's personality, and my parents have been together for 50 years. And when I offered a romantic getaway paid for by me, my mother secretly said no. She was no longer in love. Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Tamara. Thank you for saying that. Or is it Tamara? Tamara. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Either way, it's a beautiful name, and thank you for sharing your story. And I believe it. They seem like friends, brother and sister vibe, right? Hey, Tamara, she goes, I see that Arana and Jamie's relationship. Yes! I've been saying that since day one. I have been saying that since day one. They seem like we're just going to ride this out now. And I want more for Arana. I really do. Miss T, why is it always 3 couples and a single woman on the Love and Marriage cast? Right? But Monique did. Exactly. She did. She was messy as hell. She was nobody's friend. Hey, Donna D, I think they were trying so hard to make Winter cry on the reunion. I'm so happy Winter stayed classy and did not cry or cuss them out. I agree 100%. Maybe we can get Winter a spinoff. But I also think that Carlos did Winter dirty. I think they all did Winter dirty. Carlos made it seem like this was all Winter's fault. Maybe he is realizing that the show was flat, that his little queen Monique came across horribly. So maybe Carlos was also going against Winter, trying to save face. But it came across really bad because I don't think Carlos really did his job. I think he kind of kissed Monique's butt a little bit. And I think that he was trying to villainize Winter when Winter was not the villain in this situation. She really, really wasn't. Hey, Donna D, I think they were trying so hard to make Winter. Oh, yes, that's right. Hey, Tamara, preach Candy. Yes, thank you. Hey, Donna D, I'm surprised Monique even stuck up for Winter when Kevin came to their retreat with his receipts. I mean, this is the thing. When it came to that, I think she had to, because there comes a line where Kevin, the scammer, there was just, other than Chris, which I don't know why Chris was trying to stick up for Kevin. Maybe maybe the producers got in his head and said, you need to stick up for him and bring him around for some drama. But when it came to Kevin the scammer, I mean, if she would have stuck up for him, it would have it would have been too blatant crazy, because there's literally no way, like literally no way anybody could be like, oh yeah, Kevin seems like he's the up and up. He's on the up and up. He basically walked in with the word scammer tattooed on his head. And no man who is serious about getting his person back brings a briefcase of Kinko's copies of an ebook, trying to throw his estranged wife under the bus, and then the next breath being like, I still love her, I'm trying to work on my marriage. You don't love her. Because if you love someone, man or woman, there's no way you're trying to drag them out and clown them the way Kevin thought he was. But he ended up just looking like an old, weird, wackadoodle person. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hey, Miss T, Jamie yelled at her in the dressing room too. Very interesting. Exactly. But did you notice, like I said, Monique and Chris riled him up right before he went into the dressing room, and then he was yelling at her and telling her off. But Monique and Chris was like, yeah, man, you got to get your story out. There's two sides. You got to put your out there, blah, blah, blah. They riled him up, and then he went and instead of having his wife's back, he went into the dressing room and told his wife off. That to me is so messed up. Hey, Donna D, it was also commendable of Winter to contact Irina to show her the receipts on her family behind the scenes, just to let her know what was sent to her. 100%. I'm Team Winter all day. I want Winter to get a spinoff. I really, 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 really do. Hey, Sneak Cop. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Jamie talked about that in the DJ Richie interview. You need to watch it because it will explain a lot that we didn't know. Dun, 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 dun. Donna D, did Jamie get interviewed after Irana did? Yes. So Winter was interviewed, Irana was interviewed, and Jamie was interviewed today. Like, I feel like a couple hours ago. Jamie was interviewed today on DJ Richie Sky. Hey, Donna D. Nick Cop says yes today. Yup, it was really good interview that gave a lot of insight to their relationship. Production made Irana look like she was weak and meek with nothing going on when it's far from the truth. Okay. Y'all go and watch it. Hey, Donna D, I'm surprised Quick kept butting into Jamie's and Irana's relationship issues after reunion. Like, Quick is the perfect husband. He kept criticizing how Jamie treated Irana. Girl, yes. Girl, I mean, I thought the same. I thought it was laughable that DJ Fun Size was trying to give anybody relationship advice, when it is very clear that I'm not a relationship coach, but it is very clear that DJ Fun Size, being away in his work. Is he a workaholic? Sure. But why? What are you running away from? When you're a workaholic, you're running away from something. Why don't you want to be at home? Why don't you want to be with your children? Why don't you want to be with your wife? Are you with the side chicks? Do you not want to be with your family? Like, do you not, you know what I mean? Like, who are you to tell Jamie how he should behave in his marriage when you're not behaving necessarily on point in your own marriage? I will say this. To me, there is a big difference between Quick and Jamie only when it comes to, I don't really see DJ Quick verbally disrespecting Ashley, you know what I mean? Or putting Ashley down. I don't really see that. Like, I still see the love between Ashley and DJ Quick. I think the biggest thing between them is that they have an understanding. She does what she wants and he does what he wants. And I think they just have an understanding. I don't really see the level of put down. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when it comes to Irana and Jamie, there seems, and I'll go back and watch his interview, but what I saw, there does seem to be that level of put down. if that makes sense, in his relationship with Irana. Thank you. I'll look for that interview. Yeah, the interview was today with DJ. Shout out to DJ Richie Sky and Jamie. It was today. Miss T, I feel so badly for Chris. Me too. I feel really bad for Chris. I think Chris is a good guy, and if you notice it, Chris was the only guy that nobody had alleged receipts on, because I really don't think Chris cheats on Monique. I don't think he does. And I think if he had, we would have seen those receipts. We would have seen someone come out the woodwork, but we haven't. Honestly, no one has ever said anything poorly against Chris in a genuine way. I'm not talking about Funky Giselle and her girlfriend Robin on Potomac. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about real, authentic, truthful receipts that Chris has really done anything foul. It's just not there. And my heart goes out to him, because I think he has such low self-worth. Because again, self-worth, true self-worth, does not come from money. It doesn't come from playing in the NFL. It doesn't come from having houses and stocks and bonds. It comes from a true relationship with the divine that lives within you. Know your intrinsic value and worth. And I don't think Chris has it. I think that he's a good person. I think he's a loving person, but I don't think he knows who he is. And I don't think he really knows his worth. I don't think he really understands what he truly brings to the table. Because if he did, I don't think he would put up with a woman like Monique. I think Monique mirrors to Chris how his mother treated him. And I think that's a big reason why Monique and her mother-in-law don't get along, because they're the same person. And I think that Chris needs to really work on his self-esteem, getting value from who he is, not from what he does. And that's why he gets so confused by Monique being so mean to him, because he's like, well, I give you everything. Why aren't you happy? She's not happy because she's not happy within herself. And there is nothing that Chris can give or do to Monique to make her happy, because Monique just isn't happy. The way she treated Winter shows you who she really is. The way she threw Irana under the bus shows you. So I really want Chris to work on himself. Hey, Sharon, there would have been no show without Winter. Exactly. I want Winter to get a spinoff, okay? I want Winter to get a spinoff show. I want her to bring her friends and just to have a fun, like, kiki. And honestly, I think that's kind of what we're missing in reality, is a show that is fun again. I don't really know a show that's fun anymore. Love and Marriage Huntsville, hopefully they'll get back to the fun, but they kind of went to the dark side. Hopefully they'll be able to get it back. Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't even know if that's how long that even is going to be on anymore. You know, what are the shows that it's just like a fun kiki and it's really funny? Hopefully Potomac will be that, you know, when they come back. The Ultimate Girls Trip, I would say, are fun. I would say those are fun. Sharon F. There would have, yeah, exactly, no show without Winter. Hey, Miss T, was really surprised that Kevin even showed up. I wasn't surprised that Kevin showed up. He's a scammer. He wanted camera time. I think it was the producers putting it in Chris's ear. Oh, we need to get Kevin's side of the story. We need to get the drama. We need to figure out what happened. And of course Kevin's going to show up because he's a scammer. And all scammers think they're smarter than you. All scammers think that they are the smartest person in the room, that no one's going to catch on to them, and that's why they're scammers, because they think they're the smartest person in the room. Hey, Sneak Up, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. At Donna Z, you're welcome. You'll see Ariana as a boss. Yes, I want to see her boss up. I want to see everything she has going on. Hey, Miss T, what did Winter see in Kevin? Girl, I don't know. 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 But this is the thing, though. It's like, again, with scammers, Nobody is above a con. The smartest people, it's almost like the same thing with cults. I don't mean to go too far left, but when you look at it objectively, you're like, why would anybody ever join a cult? Like, aren't you smart? Don't you have street smarts or book smarts? Aren't you educated? Don't you have family? Like, how did you get conned? The saddest part is that no one is above being scammed or conned or played, right? So I agree with you 1,000%. What the hell did Winter see in Kevin? Like, you see Kevin and you're like scammer 101. Like he basically comes with a manual that says, I'm a con artist, run. But again, I'm going to give her some grace because we've all, on some level, big or small, if we're being honest, have been scammed or conned by someone in some way. Hopefully never on such a scale where you marry the person, or never on such a scale where you give away your life savings, or do anything to that extreme. But we've all been conned on some level. Even just having a shitty boyfriend, sometimes you get conned. You know what I mean? Or girlfriend. Hey, Sasha T. Hey, sweetheart. She goes, wait until Ashley and Ariana have cemented themselves on this show. They're going to go after Monique. She will see Carlos for who he is at that point. She better not expect loyalty from Winter. You know what? I agree with you 100%, especially because I think they are already kind of laying that foundation. They've already sprinkled that in some of the comments they have. I agree with you 100%. I don't like Ashley that much, but I think Ashley will become the alpha of the group, even though I think because she's mean as hell, and she's loud and obnoxious, I think Ashley will become the alpha. I think Ariana will become her beta, like her sidekick, even though she'll be doing her own stuff. I do think they're going to go after Monique, and I hope they bring Winter back, and I hope Winter is smart enough not to align herself with Monique, because Monique threw her ass all the way under the bus all day long. And I think Carlos is like an Andy. You have to remember that these producers are not your friends. These producers make money off of you. Don't become a Nene and get it twisted and think that producers are your friends. They are not your friends. The reality of the situation is the executive producers, like an Andy, like Carlos, they're your boss. They're not your friend. And then the producers, the day-to-day producers, right? The ones who, because like Carlos isn't, with the scenes, and Andy isn't with the scenes. They're the executive producers. But the day-to-day producers that they're working with, they're not your friends either. They're not your friends either. And that's when people get really tripped up, when they confuse co-workers and producers as friends. They're not your friends. The truth of the matter is the producers see you as a commodity. That's why they call you the talent. You're a commodity. That's why you're the talent. And they make money off of you. So however they think they're going to make the most money off of you is how they're going to do it. Whether it's feeding you storylines, whether it's feeding other people things about you, whether it's exploiting something, whether it's like Carlos King asking Winter 20 times to reveal the receipts. How come they weren't mad at Carlos for that? That was trying to attack families and marriages. The one time Winter said, I don't want to show it, that should have been enough. But he asked her about 20 times and she still said no. Why weren't they mad at Carlos? Carlos is not your friend. He's your boss. And she's going to end up like a Nene if she thinks that they're friends, because they're not friends. Hey, Sharon F. Chris and Kevin knew each other before Winter. They had done business together. So you know what? Maybe that's a reason why Chris was going so hard for Kevin if they did business together, because it's coming out now that Kevin is a scammer. Kevin was allegedly, what was he doing? Like, not liquidating money, defrauding money, or I don't know what is it called? I don't even know. I'm not. I don't know. He was doing something with his business or his company where he was basically scamming money. I don't know what the term is. You guys let me know what the term is. But if you've done business with this person, maybe Chris is now rethinking that. Maybe he's like, did I get scammed? Or am I sort of now caught up in a scam? Because if you do business with a scammer, even if you don't know you're in something shady, if it comes out that your name's on that LLC or you cashed that check or you signed on the dotted line, you too could be liable for what the scammer is doing. So maybe Chris, if he's done business with Kevin, maybe he's trying to figure out what the deal is, maybe do some damage control, maybe no, Winter, you're the crazy one. You know what I mean? How people try and cover their own self. So who knows? Hey, Miss T, I'm glad the kids got an apology out of Jamie. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. That was a lot. Hey, T Nash, I don't think Monique and Chris are going to make it. I don't either. And again, I know I said that really quickly, and I want to preface it. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, even though we're having a fun kiki, I still want to be respectful. I hope they make it. I never want to talk the demise of anybody's relationship. Hypothetically, would I love to see Chris on his own, going to therapy, dating women that appreciate him, finding his voice, coaching like he wants to coach, realizing how much he has to offer? Like, no tea, no shade. I think Chris is a catch. He's handsome. He's financially stable. He's open. He's caring. Like, I think Chris really is such a great guy. And it kills me that he doesn't see his own greatness. Do you know what I mean? Because if you really saw your own greatness, you're not putting up with a person who treats you the way Monique does, publicly bashing you. It hurt my heart. Remember in the scene where they were doing the like sexy yoga, and she laughed in his face and said, "Oh yeah, I was complaining about you again," and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! See, I don't like that." If you really respect yourself and love yourself and know what you bring to the table, you're not sticking around with somebody who laughs in your face and says, "Ha, when I was complaining about you again," to other people outside publicly. And he even said, "Yeah, everybody keeps coming up to me telling me how much you're complaining and talking about me." If my partner looked me in my face and laughed and said, "Yeah, I was complaining about you again," and I had every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming to me saying that he's complaining about me, he would no longer be my partner. Because I have enough self-esteem and self-respect and self-love to know who and what I deserve. That was ridiculous to me. It was a very dismissive, nasty, like, yeah, I was girl. Hey, Miss T, I really hope DJ Richard can get his friend from production to interview. Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. DJ is working a lot because he doesn't want to go home. Exactly. I think DJ Quick is working a lot because he doesn't want to go home. He doesn't want to deal with Ashley. And he's hanging out with his groupies. He's busting it and doing it. He's living his life. He's living that DJ life. He's going from city to city, event to event, club to club. And you're not telling me he's not smashing the homies. I don't believe it. Of course he is. Of course. Again, a legit fun peaky. Hey, T Nash, we need more pop like Winter on the show. Monique didn't back her up. 100%. I think Winter was the entire show. And even, this is the thing, even hurt ass Ashley was like, "I'm tired of talking about Winter. I'm tired of talking about Winter or Kevin." She even said it. She was like, "I'm tired of talking about them," because literally every word out of Monique's mouth, other than Chris isn't doing enough, was Winter. That was it. What else did Monique talk about? Other than learning Swahili. What else did she do? She just berated Chris and throw Winter under the bus. That was her complete storyline. I don't know what else Monique did. Hey, Sasha, because Ashley can whoop his ass, that's why he doesn't raise up on her, LOL. I mean, At the reunion, she literally had her whole arm over his little fun-sized body. So yes, I agree with you 100%. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. Again, I think Ashley and Quick have just like a fun relationship. I do think the sex is still there, but they just do what they want to do. Like, and that's fine. I would prefer to see them be honest about it. And maybe that would actually take some shame and stigma around it, because I don't think that there's any, I don't think being in a monogamous marriage is more moral than being in an open marriage. I think the problem is when you pretend and you fake the funk. Do I think that you need to tell your business to everybody? No. Do I think you need to tell your business out in the streets to everybody? No, of course not. You know, within your relationship, you can have things that are private, you can have things that are sacred. You know, you shouldn't tell all your business out there. However, when you put yourself on a reality show, you do have to have a level of transparency and authenticity. You don't need to put all your business out there, but don't fake the funk. And then don't villainize someone who is shining a light on the fact that you're faking the funk. That to me is where the problem is. And I think if people were more honest, you know what, we have a great marriage, we love each other, and we have an understanding. That would probably take a lot of shame and stigma from other couples and from other people, so that you don't have to get on a show and make a pact to basically fake the funk, because that's what you admitted to doing. Reunion part 2, you admitted that you all got together and made a pact. You only make a pact to do what? Keep a secret. That's what pacts are for. I won't tell, you won't tell. We make a pact. So that's what a pact is for, to keep secrets. So those couples got together and made a pact. They didn't let winner know. And then that's the season we got. Miss T actually writing a book about what exactly? Girl, I was also confused. I was also very confused about what the book was about. She's like, I'm just telling people how it is. I'm like, how, what is? I'm confused, Ash. Miss T, poor Chris, he married his overbearing mother. 1,000%. 1,000%. Hey, Tamra, I have a dating business here in Canada. Yay, congrats. Chris is the only one I would recommend if he was single. Me too. He gives genuine vibes. It's interesting that Chris's mother does like Monique. Well, she didn't like her in the beginning. I think maybe they got to a better place after she had a miscarriage, but I don't think they really get along very well. And Monique has said very disparaging things about Chris's parents and her own parents. Remember when she said in the confessional, well, I don't want to end up like my parents and get divorced, and I don't want to end up like Chris's parents who are just friends? Like, I don't really think it's your place, Monique, to speak on your parents and on your in-laws' marriage like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that just seems all the way wrong. And Monique, honestly, just admit you're not in love with Chris. If you ever was, you're not now. So you either never loved him or you fell out of love with him. And you're making this man jump through these invisible hoops that are unattainable because you're not even clear on what the problem is. I honestly just think, Monique, you're just not in love with him anymore. And instead of being honest about that, you are trying to villainize him and make him feel bad about himself. When the truth is, I just don't think you're into him anymore. And just be honest about that. But I think it's easier for her to try and make him the problem than for her just to say, I don't love you anymore. Because it didn't seem like she did. Hey, Tamara, I didn't understand on Potomac, but now I see it. I was Team Monique, but now, P's winter singing scene was classic. I agree. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I was 1,000% Team Monique on Potomac. 1,000%. But this Monique, I was shocked. I was shocked. Hey, Sneakop. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sneakop. Chris is not a victim. You can't determine what someone else's self-worth. Chris is emotionally lazy and he knows it. Everyone isn't happy with just things. This is the thing. I don't think Chris is a victim. I think that Monique is demeaning towards him. I actually didn't see Chris being emotionally lazy. I thought that it seemed like he was really putting in the work. I think that I think when it comes to that, you can't tell someone where they are in their own spiritual and emotional and mental journey. Like when it came to the whole letter situation, she wasn't listening to him. She was just like exactly like what she did to Winter, right? She went to worst case crazy scenario. Well, you didn't want to do the work because we weren't doing the meeting, so you thought you didn't matter, so you thought I didn't care. She went all up in arms, made it this whole psycho situation where he was just saying, I didn't really understand what I was supposed to put in the letter. I don't really know what my passions are. To me, that's not being emotionally lazy. That's actually being self aware. He's saying, you know what? I don't really know myself. I don't know what my passions were. I didn't really know how to write the letter. And if she was actually listening to him, to her partner, she would have said, okay, well, you know what? Let's work on the letter together. Let's get another session with the therapist. So the therapist can tell us what's in the letter together. Let's work through it together, rather than the way she treated him, which was to me was extremely rude and demeaning. And he wasn't being emotionally lazy. He wouldn't have been in therapy. He wouldn't have been talking about his feelings. He wouldn't have been trying to do a letter. He said he didn't understand exactly what to put in it and he wasn't sure about himself. That's being actually honest and vulnerable. And she took it and spun it as this whole negative thing, the same exact way she took what Winter said and spun it to the women. Hey, Sasha. He made the Samuels feel like they can control the show and the narratives. Exactly. He will give them a certain level of control, but ultimately it will backfire and Monique will leave again. Yeah. And you know what? I think we're seeing that on Huntsville with Melody. I think we're seeing that on Huntsville with Melody. I think Melody will also realize, if she hasn't already, Carlos is not your friend. He is your boss. And these are producers. And they are there to produce a show, not to coddle you. And you have to remember that. Hey, Miss T, all these couples need therapy. Yes, they all need. See, yes, that is what I was saying. I would have loved to see these couples on Ayanna Fix My Life. It could have been a Love and Marriage DC, Ayanna Fix My Life series special. And each person from each couple got their own episode. That to me would have been so much more interesting, so many more breakthroughs, because these couples are supposed to be DC excellence. Get the F out of here. I'm sorry. If you're saying that these are the couples who are supposed to represent Black excellence in DC, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Hey, Sasha Day, respectfully, I disagree. I think Chris is one of those men that feel like because they are breadwinners, they don't need to make any other allowances for their wives. That's okay. We respect all opinions. Hey, Miss T, Monique got a job at the radio station. I know. Donna D, Chris appears to be one of those good men. He's the kind of guy someone like Monique would say, oh, he's too nice. Why are so many attracted to not so good men? Exactly. I agree with that, because remember the scene when it was after when they were in the movie theater or whatever happened, and Monique started crying and she was like, oh, I feel like I have to prove my value and worth. And Chris was trying to console her and he was like, no, like I love you and like you're valuable and you're worthy. And she was like, no, it's not what you say, it's how I feel. And it's just like, well, damn, like what did you want him to do in that situation? He is affirming you, he is validating you, he is listening to you, he is comforting you, he's speaking into you, and you still criticized him and pushed him off you. What would have been the more appropriate response in that situation? I don't get it. Like, you're crying and you're telling your husband that you feel like you have to prove your value and worth to him, and he's saying, I love you, no, you're all these great things, and then you literally tell him to shut up and dismiss him. No, it's not about what you say, it's about how I feel in that way. How do you expect him to show up emotionally for you when you are not a safe place to be vulnerable in. And that's what I think it is. I think it's easy, you know what I mean? It's easy for her to say, oh, like, you're not emotionally available, you shut down, you don't do this. Sure, you come home at night, sure, you provide all this stuff, you're not there. But Monique is not a safe place. Like, you have to also look at it from the other side. Everybody is not safe to be vulnerable with. Everybody is not safe to let your guard down with. She's not safe. Because when he was trying to be emotionally available to her, she shut him down and criticized him and put him down. You didn't want to do the letter. You were da-da-da. You didn't think it was important. And that's not what he said. He said, I didn't understand. I didn't know who I was. I don't know myself. I don't know what it is. I didn't understand the assignment. No, baby, I love you. You're amazing. You're great. Shut up. Stop it. It's not what you say. You know what I mean? You need to be a safe place for someone to open up to you with their vulnerability if you are asking them to be emotionally available to you. And I don't think she's that safe space. And I think that's what a big disconnect is. Hey, Miss T, Ashley and DJ really didn't show much of their life. Nope. At least we saw the kids from the other couples. Exactly. And I'm telling you, they got together and they made their little pact. They made their little pact. You know what I mean? They made their little pact to front. Hey, Donna D, they actually started the conflict with Winter when they clowned her on being a relationship coach. Exactly. Once you throw that first punch, you can't complain about how somebody punches back. Exactly. They started to be with Winter, and then they got mad because she threw something back. Tamara says, I mean, doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Monique doesn't have a good relationship with Chris's mom. Exactly. Hey, Donna D, when you talk about somebody's parents like Monique did Chris's parents, it's worse than saying, yo, mama. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that to me, it crosses a line. It crosses a line. You don't talk about somebody's parent marriage like that. You see what I'm saying? It crosses the line. Hey, Donna D, has anyone heard the single yet? I understand Winter made a single of that divorce song named Sign the Papers or something. No, girl, I haven't heard that single. Maybe her and Monique will do a duet. Tamara says, ha, Jamie would never be on Fix My Life. His ego is too big. He would say my life is not to be fixed, LOL. I think Monique resents Chris. She wanted to be boss lady. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a loving, happy families. It doesn't seem like loving, happy families. I think they got together and made a pact to front on the show. Winter wasn't about that life, and she came true. And I want justice for Winter. And I want to free Chris. And I want to free Arana. I want Ashley and DJ Quick just to say, surprise, we have an open marriage. It's cool. And yeah. I want people to tell the truth. I want people to tell the truth. That is what I want. That is what I want. I thought Monique wanted to be a rapper, says Miss T. Right? And remember, okay, did you guys catch this? I forgot what episode it was. It was the episode when they all dressed up in the outfits. Did you guys catch how Chris said that when he met Monique, she was, trying to be like a singer rapper, right? And he was going to open up a record label. Did you guys catch that? So I'm kind of like, how did they really get together? Like, was she a singer trying to get signed to his record label? And then they got together? And now maybe she's resentful since that didn't really, go anywhere? I don't know. Let's start with Carlos telling the truth. Yeah, Carlos was shady boots. He was shady boots. Hey, Miss T, Monique hurt Chris' feelings when he said she wished they hadn't gotten married. That was dirty. I'm sorry. That was dirty. When she said she wished they hadn't gotten married, she's not sure if she would still choose him. That was dirty. Chris is Biggie in real life, right? Remember? And that's when I was like, see, you really have to listen because people always tell on themselves. You really have to listen when people talk. They made the fake pact. Chris was starting a record label. She wanted to be a singer. So what what's the real? You know what I mean? Hey, Sasha T, do you think they will be renewed? What would you like to see next season? A new couple? Yes, I think they'll be renewed. I think they will be. I think they'll get a second season. I would like to see, I'll say for each couple, what I would like to see. I would like to see, if Chris and Monique stay together, I want to see Chris find his voice in general. In general, I want him to find his voice. I want him to go to therapy on his own, not couples therapy, but his own therapy, to work on his self-esteem. And I want to see Chris really come into his own. That's what I would really love. Monique, I'm still shocked because I loved her so much on Potomac. I don't even know if I really want to. I don't know what to do with Monique, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what to do with her. I thought she was trifling when it came to the women. I thought she was trifling when it came to her husband. And I think personality-wise, she wasn't even a fun kiki herself. Like, she didn't bring a personality to the show. So I don't know. Ashley and DJ, I want to see Ashley also go to therapy and work on herself and become more. And then, because I do think she's a funny person, but since a lot of her jokes come from hurt, she's mean. It's that mean, and it's that nastiness there. So I want her to work on herself. I want her to find true happiness. I want to see more of the real life between her and DJ Quick, not just this sort of cookie cutter stuff that they're showing. Like, oh, he works too much. You know, oh, I was young and had kids. Like, yeah, we get that. But, like, what else is new? Can you talk about anything real? Again, I don't want anybody to break up, but I would prefer to see Arana by herself. I want to see her dating. I want to see her acting. I want to see her being this boss lady that we did not see. I want to see Jamie go to like a men's retreat and like find his positive masculinity, not the ego and not toxic masculinity. I want him to find his divine masculinity that's positive and him really work on himself and come back as changed man. 100% they have to have a new couple. They can't go into the second season with this. They can't. It has to be a new, fresh couple. And the new, fresh couple, I don't know if you can, but maybe somebody who works in politics, since it's DC, you know, I don't really think I got Black DC excellence from this cast, to be perfectly honest. So I would want to see a loving couple, a happy couple, an affluent couple. I want Winter back just because I love her. I think she's great. I want to see her in her element. I want her to go back to being a relationship coach and be like, yeah, I went through some stuff, but now I have the wisdom to teach it. I want to see her dating. I want to see her back at it. Or a spin-off with Winter, being a relationship coach and her single friend and doing it or whatever. But I do think they'll get a second season. I do think there needs to be a shakeup, and there definitely needs to be at least one new couple, if not two. I wouldn't mind even two new couples to come into the mix. I want to see a personality that is actually going to go against Ashley. That's not just Winter. Ashley seems to be very overbearing. And I want another alpha female to come in that's in a healthier place that can really combat Ashley, that the other women aren't going to gang up on. Because I think Winter gave Ashley a run for her money, but Winter was very much ganged up on, and that made it really difficult, if that makes sense. But I do think they'll come back for a second season. But yeah, I want two new couples, and I want the dynamics to be changed. And I want more, and I'm not, no tea, no shade, but to be honest, I want more decadence. I want more opulence. I don't want just dinner every night at somebody's house, you know, ordering in, because that's really all we saw. And I don't want events at the mall. I want, if you're telling me that this is Black Excellence DC, I want to see Black Excellence DC. I want to see opulence. I want to see something that I want to aspire to. I want to be like, oh my God, like One day I want a house like that. Oh my gosh, one day I want that loving relationship. Oh my gosh, one day I want, not to make it all about money and materialistic things, but to be honest, it's a reality TV show. And if you're selling me that these are Black, excellent, wealthy people, I want to see that. I want to see the girls really go shopping. I want to see them go on an exotic trip. I don't want them to go, up the street to Big Bear or wherever the heck they went on the bus. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see vegan dinners every single night at somebody's house. I don't want to see that. That's what me and my friends do. I want to see aspirational big stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how I would want it to be different. Hey, Tama, Chris and Monique kind of remind me of Tamar and Vince. Chris is way nicer. Hey, Mai. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is it Maya? Thank you for the heart, sweetheart. Love you, love you, love you. Woo, you guys. We have been on here for an hour and 40 minutes. If you are having fun, if you're having a good kiki, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. Again, everything is just alleged. This is all opinions. This is just for fun. No tea, no shade, nothing malicious or disrespectful. Just a fun kiki chat about fun reality TV. Hey, Sasha, when do you think Carlos will snip the umbilical cord from Monique? Season 2? Season 2. I think season 2, because I agree. It was either I think you said it. And if it wasn't you, then whoever said it, but I think it was you. I agree 100% that I think that Ashley and Irana have become closer. And I think that Irana, everyone's saying she's this boss lady, but I think her personality is more beta, especially with Ashley. So I think they're gonna team up against Monique. And this is the thing. I don't think Ashley and Irana are stupid. I don't think they actually dislike Winter as much as they were fronting. I actually don't think they blame Winter as much as they were fronting. I actually think they probably agree with what we're saying a lot. However, they know the position Monique has on the show. They know the position that she has with Carlos. They want to keep their jobs. So what's going to keep their job in this current moment will be scapegoating Winter. They also don't want exposed the receipts and the text messages and all of that. They're also still trying to keep up this front that they all got to pack together. And the only way to keep up the front is to go after Winter. But I think behind the scenes, Ashley and Irana feel the same way about Monique that we all do. And it probably about Winter too. But they have to do what they have to do to try and save face and also to keep their spots. I think that season 2 will be very different from Monique. If not season 2, then definitely season 3. And if it doesn't, then I'm not going to watch anymore, because I don't want to watch something that I think is just not good. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think that Ashley and Irana are stupid. I think they see what we see, but they're trying to keep their job. Hey, Misty, hopefully we'll be better. I think it was because of the pandemic this season was kind of dull. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too. That's a very good point. Hey, Misty, I definitely think the ladies told Winter they liked her and wished it had been different. Exactly. I think they saw what we saw, because honestly, I agree. I think the season and the dynamic of the women would have gone totally differently. I'll even give them the grace of the whole vegan dinner crap. If Monique had not done what she did when she got back from Tanzania, I think the entire season and the dynamic between the women would have gone differently in a much better way. I think they would have had more laughs, more kikis, more genuine moments. I think it would have been a much better season had Monique just stayed out of it and didn't try and rock the boat. Hey, Carlos used Monique to usher this show in. He won't need her next year to do that. Ooh, Donna D. Even if enough of his snowflakes as Winter say Winter should return, maybe Carlos will listen and bring her back. I hope so. I hope so. I hope he's listening. I love Winter. I love her. I want her back or her own spinoff. I thought she was great. I think she brought a lot to the table. I think she's a woman of integrity. And I think Winter is just like us. I think she's a smart, beautiful woman who got the okie doke. You know what I mean? She got the okie doke. I'm talking about with Kevin. And honestly, I'm not going to clown her for that personally, because I think if we're all being honest, there have been times where we've all been. I'll tell you a situation that happened with me. Don't laugh at me. And this is such a small, like, this is totally like, does not compare to Winter actually marrying this man and having to pay all this money and do all this stuff. Don't clown me when I tell you this cheesy story. But I forgot where I was. I think I was back home visiting my mom, and I was out driving, and I forgot where I went. Maybe to I forgot where it was, but I was in a parking lot. And this man came up to me and he knocked down the window, and I don't know why I rolled on the window. I usually would not have done this. And he gave me this whole sob story about how he was living in this home and he needed to get something before he could get back to the home. But he got to the home after this time. They were they would shut him out of sleeping. He wouldn't get a bed to sleep that night, and all this stuff, and how he needed money to be able to get back there, and he's hard in his luck. And I gave him some money. And then when I got home and I told my mom laughed at me, and she was like, "That man conned you." She was like, "No, he's gonna go and get beer," or she's like, "No," and she was laughing at me, and I felt like such an idiot that I got conned. I know I know it is nowhere near what happened to her, but what I am saying is this: anybody, I'll even tell that story, but anybody can get conned. So I'm just giving her a little bit of grace, and don't clown me for that. But we can all get conned, okay? We can all get conned. All right, let's see. Hey, Sasha. She goes, if they turn on Monique, we will see more of Tasha as the sidekick, because that's her BFF in real life. It will be Giselle Robin dynamic. Wow. I believe it. And you also know, I think that Ashley is gunning for Monique's place. And you also saw it with little DJ Fun Size even said it, right? He said, reunion part 1, he was like, yeah, Ashley's the star of the show. He said it. I think Ashley is gunning for Monique's spot. And to be perfectly honest, I bet you she gets it. Hey, Sasha T. But on the OLFP interview with Winter, it seems like the cast is trying to make it difficult for Winter to come back. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah, they are doing the whole, we're not filming with her like they did on Rohop. See, that's so messy to me. That is so messy. So messy. Hey, Misty, if you go out of the goodness of your heart, then it didn't matter that the other person does with it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that situation, you know what it was? Honestly, I think it was because my mom laughed. And I felt so stupid. I was like, oh no, I can't believe it. I gave this man this money and anyway, I did give from the goodness of my heart because I got the okie doke. I really thought he needed to get to the place and he needed a bed to sleep in, and I just felt really bad. So watch out, you guys. Watch out for the scammers. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch out for the scammers. Oh, all right, you guys. This has been so much fun. Thank you for joining me for this fun kiki. I will be looking out for season 2, and I think the prediction will be Ashley is going to try to dethrone Monique. I hope they bring Winter back. I need some other couples. But I think the dynamic will be Ashley trying to dethrone Monique. Hey, Sasha T. Monique very well play them before they play her now, thinking about it. Yeah. We'll see what she does. We'll see what Monique does. We'll see what her next move is. But I don't think she's going to have any real allies on the show. So I think season 2 will be Ashley trying to dethrone Monique. But we'll see who each person brings in to sort of be on their side. So we'll see. But justice for Winter. Justice for Winter. All right, you guys, I love you. And if you've had a fun Kiki, you know, do like I did to that con artist guy and show some love. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share with a friend because a Kiki is always better with community. I love you guys. Tomorrow we might be doing a Wellness Wednesday or some self-care stuff, but I'll also be doing this week the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives of Dubai, and let's see if there's any cool hot topics that come up that we want to talk about or any other shows you want me to do. Let me know. It'll be good. Yay, Miss T. She says, so great. We will see you again. Yes, I'm back. I finished up my project, so I am back for the, as Sheree would say, summer, spring, winter, fall. I am back for the summer, fall, winter, or whatever she said. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Take care of yourself and each other. Watch out for scammers. And watch out for people who are throwing you under the bus. All right, I love you guys. Bye.